Hey, what's up everyone? AJ Writes Crypto here. As you can see, I am filling in for Ben for today's portfolio video. Ben has already flown out west for the Seattle book tour. My girlfriend and I will be flying out there tomorrow. The book tour day is on Sunday. If you live in the Seattle area, I hope to see you there. In the meantime, let's get it. So before Gary Gensler and I get into this portfolio video, I do want to say there have not been any major changes. This video is very much just an update, and at the end of the video, I will tell you what I have been working on for my personal portfolio. So here, let's start with the 1K portfolio. We're down just shy of $200. Got a good amount of Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, ICP, Algorand, Matic, Stand. This is a really good spread for a $1,000 portfolio. Just the market isn't in the best place right now, especially for altcoins, as Bitcoin dominance has sort of been running the show. But I kind of feel like, we are less than a year away from the Bitcoin halving, and there's always an accumulation, a markup phase leading up to the Bitcoin halving, and I expect to see some fireworks, hopefully Q3, Q4 of this year. Here we are at the 10K portfolio. As you can see, we're down a little over $1,200. I do like, we have a full Ethereum in this portfolio. That's awesome. You always want a solid amount of either Bitcoin or Ethereum or both in your portfolios. You want those large market cap coins to kind of hold a good bulk to keep you steady as the altcoins kind of do some of the legwork, but the altcoins are also riskier. So you always want to be comfortable having those higher market cap coins towards the top of your portfolio, especially if you want to play it safe. So for this particular portfolio, we got Ethereum, XRP, Matic, Optimism, ADA, Quant, Atom, ICP, Near, Aptos, Lido Finance, Algorand, AGIX. I wish we had a little bit more Algo, a little bit more AGIX in this portfolio, but that's just me. I do like the spread for this portfolio. In terms of tokenomics, I really like Quant and Matic for this. Quant is basically fully vested. Matic, I believe, is 92, 93% vested already, especially as we head towards the bull run. So for the coins you're holding in your personal portfolio, I really want you to think about the tokenomics of those coins you're holding. Take a long look at them, and I want you to look at how many coins are already in the circulating supply for whatever coin you're holding, and then I want you to figure out how long it's going to take for the rest of the coins to be in circulation for the coin to reach its max supply. A lot of times you will actually see some coins don't have the best tokenomics, and by the time we get to the projected top of the bull market based off the Bitcoin 4-year halving cycle is September, November 2025, and you will find that a lot more coins than you might think don't have the best tokenomics as we lead into the bull run. I really like looking at coins and picking coins that are at least 75, hopefully even over 90% vested, especially Quant. That's why Quant has been one of my favorite picks. It has, almost 5 million coins less than Bitcoin, and that's it. There's no more ever coming in. So I'm really big on Quant, and it's all because of tokenomics. All right, so for the 25K portfolio, as you can see, down about $3,800, not that big of a deal. Once again, our largest holding is Ethereum. As you can see, in every portfolio, we're holding a good amount of Ethereum at the top of the portfolio. There's a reason for that. That's the strategy. We have XRP, Chainlink, Cardano, ICP. I really like ICP, by the way. I also like Algorand. We got Matic. I really like HBAR. I really like Filecoin. We got Sand, Near, Optimism. I like Casper, Arbitrum, AGIX, SWE, Aptos, and Conflux. This portfolio has a really good spread, to be honest. I almost think that there might be too many coins in the portfolio. For example, if you look at a coin like AGIX, we just about have $500 in AGIX, right? Well, if AGIX does a 4x from here, we're not really getting that much money out of that pump. If it goes 4x, we're going to have $2,000. like from 500, no, like I don't feel like that is the best way to go about it. I would rather have larger amounts of money concentrated into less coins, but I do at the same time understand wanting exposure to as many coins are here. So it's really a double-edged sword, and it really all comes down to your preference and what coins you think are winners. And we all know this one's my favorite portfolio, the ISO portfolio. We're down about $400 on this, really not that bad. As you see, we have Cardano, XTC, Stellar Lumens, Algorand, XRP, Quant, IOTA, and HBAR. This is a really good portfolio in my opinion. I mean, only having a handful of coins is definitely suits my style better, especially the coins that are picked here. I mean, I know there is a debate over what ISO really is and if crypto is actually going to be integrated into it or not. Listen, just because a coin is or is not ISO compliant doesn't mean that it won't play a factor in the future of the global cross-border payment system. And for the most part, what all of these coins here do, they do play a role in that and will play a role in that eventually, regardless if it means they're ISO compliant or not, especially for Quant, especially for HBAR, especially for Algorand. So I'm really interested to see how this portfolio plays out over time, especially as we get into the bull run. Once the fireworks start going off, I will be looking back at this portfolio and saying to myself, remember when there was less than $5,000 in this one? Because this one here is going to go big. As you can see here, we have a Pulsechain portfolio. I believe we sort of got a little wrecked on this. You know, nothing against Pulse or Hex or Richard Hart or anything like that. I know that in May when Pulsechain like really first came out, it came out swinging. Since then, it has lost its value a lot. But hey, at the same time, keep in mind that the Hexicans, that community, are one of the most contagious, vibrant communities in all of crypto. And if they have one thing, it is conviction. And just because Hex and Pulsechain fell in price a lot in the past couple months doesn't mean that they won't turn it around later in time. Will they, won't they? I'm not sure, but I definitely give a nod to that community for how dedicated they are. And you can't hate on that, especially when people come together for a common cause. I love to see it. Best of luck if you're in the Pulsechain community. And now finally, the Casino MetaMask portfolio. I'm sure a lot of you want to learn about what has happened in this portfolio. This portfolio is absolutely insanity. The Beep story is an interesting one that I just learned not too long ago. They put about $5,000 into Beep. It quickly turned into around $35,000. And then this 10K in Ethereum here, this 5.5 ETH, is actually profits they took from Beep out of that $35,000. Even if Beep has come down a little bit since we took 10K in profits from Ethereum, at the end of the day, from a 5K buy-in, we have about $20,000 in Beep and over $10,000 in Ethereum. Very impressive, and they played that very well. I do know at the same time that as well as we did with Beep is about as bad as we did with these here. Suka, Hex, and WSBC. All three of these coins were $10,000 buy-ins. I kind of feel like this story of this portfolio kind of does tell the story of meme coins. Like, you know, you put 5,000 into one and it just absolutely goes to the moon. You take profits, you have all this money. And then, you know, there's these other coins where you put in, you know, $5,000, $10,000 and it dwindles down to a very stat amount. So if you're going to play in the meme coin world, make sure you play in that world very carefully. I remember a couple months ago, I did very well with BAM, but when it pumped up, when I realized like, geez, like, you know, I just 10x my money, I didn't sit there and wait for it to 11x. I got out. You know, a lot of people, they always want more instead of appreciating how much they already came up. If you're going to play in the meme coin world and you get a 10x, take it. All right, and there we go. That's the portfolio overview. Like I said, no major changes, just kind of an overview at where we are, where we're going in the market. Right now, I am very curious to see how this next couple months, the summer of 23, is going to play out for crypto. I have been a little cautious lately. I'm still DCAing into my long-term portfolio, which I don't plan on selling until the top of the bull run. So when I'm doing my weekly DCA, I don't really mind particularly if a coin I'm buying falls more because I know I'm just going to buy more the next next week. I also know that when I sell it, it's going to be much higher than any of the buying levels I'm getting it at now. So definitely make sure that you stick to your goals and stick to that long-term mindset when you're doing your weekly long-term DCAs. In the short term, I've definitely have been loading up into quant. Anytime you can get quant around $100, I just understand that is most likely a big win. I'm big on quant right now, as you can tell. I've also been loading up on HBAR. I've been buying some Algorand around the 11, 12 cent level. I've also been loading up on Filecoin. I really like decentralized storage coins such as, Filecoin, Arweave, Storage. Those are all projects you definitely want to take time to look into. And with my Filecoin buys, sometimes you kind of have to really think on your feet. Even if you plan on holding something long term, you still have to kind of take a good pulse of what's happening in the market. For example, last week, earlier this week, maybe even Filecoin, all of a sudden ripped up 30%. Filecoin in the graph. One day, they both just ripped out of the clear blue sky. And when a couple random coins randomly pump and everything else is still relatively boring, relatively the same, but two other coins pump, you need to take a look at that pump and realize that this coin is probably going to come back down to reality. And that's what I did with my Filecoin. When it pumped up, I sold up there. And now I believe it's 15 or 17% below where I sold it. So when you get those random pumps, even if you have a long-term mindset, you have to realize that if everything is pumping, that's one thing. But if one or two coins pumps, they're probably going to come back down before it continues on. So if it's not a bull run situation and it's just a random outlier pump, you want to keep a close eye on that so you can maximize your profits. But that's just me. Make sure you do your own homework, do your own research. Definitely take time to look at the charts, set your levels, draw your Gonfans, pull your Fibonacci extensions. Take time to really learn and educate yourself on this, because where we are with price levels right now, we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that we might not get again. We know that crypto regulation, it is coming. It has already, hurt the market as much as it has, but it won't be set in stone for a little while. This next bull run, I'm not saying it'll be the last bull run ever, but it might be the last bull run the way we know bull runs. So I just want you to know that these next couple of years, they're going to make or break your career in crypto, and I want you to be on the right side of this. Before I let you go, I want to let you know that Cassius Cuvée and I have a music video about Algorand coming out on the BitBoy Crypto YouTube channel tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've been sitting on the video for a while, and we kind of have a big plan on how we're releasing it, and I'm really excited to share it with you. I can't wait to hear your feedback. We're doing Algorand giveaways, we're doing NFTs. If you want to learn any more of that, be sure to check out the video tomorrow and hit me up on Twitter at AJ Writes Crypto. Stay safe out there and have a great weekend.